It's Anthony Torek here in Waterloo, Canada. Thanks for joining. Today I'm going to be talking about modernizing your network environment and not using VPN. So today we're going to cover VPN, a better way to deploy apps without VPN, and then I'm going to do a quick demo of the BlackBerry Access desktop product. First off, let's talk about VPNs. VPNs are something that we've used for many, many years, and organizations have deployed VPNs to allow devices to connect to the corporate network when they're outside of the office. Nowadays, most of us are probably using VPNs quite a bit, working from home over the last 6+ months, and we typically use our corporate devices that were issued, but we've seen in some cases organizations have tried to deploy corporate VPNs on personal devices. Now, from a security perspective, it's not always a great idea to deploy a VPN on a personal device because you don't necessarily know what's on that device. And by enabling a VPN, you're effectively allowing that unknown, unmanaged device to connect to your corporate network, and that can pose a security risk from an IT security perspective. So you got to think there's got to be a better way to do this rather than depending on this older technology. So let's think about a new option or another way to do this. Now, what if you could deploy these types of applications, and what if we could onboard and offboard people without having to buy additional hardware that you would issue to users, make it easy for the user so that they could simply go in, install the app that they need, activate the app, and then open the app and then have instant access to this corporate data. So we have this technology that we have built into BlackBerry that's been around for a large number of years. We've incorporated this in BlackBerry UEM for many, many years. And it really allows a very simple connectivity model that allows the device to connect back behind the corporate firewall in order to access corporate data. And the connectivity model is very, very simple, as you can see here in the slide. The device has the app that is enabled with BlackBerry Dynamics. We allow that app to communicate through our network and connect directly to the app that resides on the corporate network. Very, very simply, end user doesn't have to install a VPN. They don't have to manage a VPN. Company doesn't have to deploy a VPN or be concerned with any of the security around allowing an end user to install a VPN on their personal device. This also applies to other apps that are built with the BlackBerry SDK, so your own custom apps you could build, or you could use an ISV app from the App Store that's built with the BlackBerry Dynamics SDK. So it's a very, very powerful and simple to use secure connectivity model. Next, we're going to talk around a single app called BlackBerry Access. So this is one application of the BlackBerry suite of products that we're going to focus on today. It works very, very well in a BYO type model where somebody needs to install this on a personal laptop from a work from home or work from anywhere type scenario. So at the core, it takes advantage of this connectivity that we just talked about. It is a secure browser that is encrypted and secure on the device. So from a security perspective on that personal device, all the corporate data assets are contained within it and encrypted and secured. It also has a number of additional functionalities that include the ability to manage your email, your contacts, calendar, sort of an all-in-one browser plus email experience in one particular application. And it also allows for VDI, virtual desktops, for organizations that have heavier applications that can't be presented through a web page or a lightweight HTML5 application. We then took the Access browser and we added an additional capability to it, which we call BlackBerry Desktop or Digital Workplace. And this is part of the zero trust model that we have here at BlackBerry, where we want to allow organizations to deploy this particular application on a non-secure BYO device, but still protect the corporate data so that you're sure that the device is not compromised. It has anti-threat protection on it from the BlackBerry Protect component, which has the AI ML engine that detects threats on the endpoint. And then coupled with that, we also include a VDI extension through a partner, Awingu, which allows organizations to present full virtual desktops, applications, and other assets behind the firewall within the BlackBerry Access browser. So when all three of them are put together, we have a very powerful desktop replacement solution that can run on virtually any desktop, no matter where in the world. So now we're going to go through a demo of BlackBerry Access and BlackBerry Digital Workplace. I have here my personal laptop that I'm using for this demo. I've installed already the BlackBerry Digital Workplace bundle on my device here. It's a very, very simple process of a single download, username, and activation password, and within 2 to 5 minutes, I'm up and running on this machine. So very, very simple to deploy, very, very easy to deploy. Now, I'm going to first of all show you when I launch the application. So I've got it here on my desktop already, pre-installed. I'm going to launch the application. You can see the first thing that pops up is it's asking me to authenticate or provide a PIN or a password. And this is part of the BlackBerry Dynamics application suite where we ask the user to prove their identity and authenticate against the application. This is something that I set, so this is a PIN or a password just like I would have on a smartphone. And again, I have to enter this in order to unlock the application. And the reason we do this is really so that if this device is shared with someone else in the family, like if the kids are browsing something on the web or they're playing a game, they're not actually able to access that corporate content and it's secured. We can also use additional functionality as part of BlackBerry Persona to assess the risk of this action. So for example, me signing in for the first time in a location that I've never logged in before, or a time of day can trigger my risk profile and move it up and down. So there's probably another session around BlackBerry Persona that'll talk about that, but again, it's just part of the BlackBerry Dynamics solution. So I'm gonna unlock my application here with the password that I set. And once it comes up, I'll be presented with a browser that looks very, very familiar to most users because it's, again, built on the Chromium platform. So I've got my corporate intranet page loaded as a homepage. You can customize that as you wish. You can put any page you like with your intranet with links. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the ability to browse behind the firewall. Again, no VPN installed. This is strictly just the BlackBerry Access application. So I've got an internal SharePoint site that I'm going to access first. And I click that hyperlink, takes me to SharePoint. And you can see, again, this is fairly standard type of corporate data access where I would be interacting with projects and content, and I can go look at documents. I can go in and upload new documents. I can edit documents. Again, very much like I would if I was sitting in the office at my corporate desktop. Now, the next thing I'm going to show is, again, the ability to have your corporate email and contact and calendars. So within the application, you'll see here on the right side, I've got a number of little icons here for mail, for calendar, and for contacts. So if I click one of these, I get a new window that pops up that is looks like my inbox, and this is an HTML5 application that we've built, and it's part of the suite, and we call it BlackBerry Work. So this is analogous to the BlackBerry Work that's on the smartphone for organizations that are deploying BlackBerry Dynamics apps. Again, very full-functioned application here. Lots of functionality here. I can scroll through my inbox. I can search. I can create a new email. There are lots of different components here. And one thing that I want to show you just real quick is this first email that'll show a little bit of an additional integration where I need to edit a file and I need to do something a little more than just reading an email. So I've got an email here from someone that's shared some documents, and I'm going to open that. So I'll click the open, and this will open in a new browser tab. And again, you can see this is part of the SharePoint site that I just showed you earlier. And I've got a document here that I'm supposed to edit, so I'm going to go in and take a look at this budget document that I've got right here. So I'm going to open this up. And the nice thing is, because it's all running securely within this infrastructure, I can actually open it with one of the online editors. So I have a choice. I can either edit it with the editor that's part of the suite, or I can use an online editor, in this case, the Excel online experience, so that I get that real full desktop experience within the browser. So I know that, when I look at this spreadsheet, there's a couple of errors here. So I'm going to boost the income from the second source here. So I'll put, this person is $4,000, right? So we've got a new edit there. So we're all done. And I can, again, save this document. I could forward it to someone. I could share it with someone. And again, it's part of that inline editing experience where I'm working and editing on a document in real time. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is something that we've included in BlackBerry Access, which is part of the mobile threat portfolio. And again, very, very common to see organizations get phishing emails or any types of security threats through email where people are trying to get you to click a link that might be suspicious or malicious. And what we've done is we've put that technology right into the BlackBerry Access browser and the BlackBerry Work product. So I've got a link here where I'm being asked to confirm my security info. Looks like a fairly standard email that you would typically get for signing into a service or some other request, and it's asking me to please confirm that it was me that I signed in, and if not, I need to remove that device. So as most users would do, they would click that link. They might not necessarily look at the URL, so I'm just going to click this link, which is a malicious link that was sent to me, and it looked like an official email. But this was stopped by the BlackBerry MTD mobile threat defense products that are built right into the solution. So you can see here the website was blocked. It may contain malicious content or malware. I'm still allowed to proceed if I'd like, but this is configurable via the admin, whether or not you want to block the user or still give them the option to proceed. So in this case, I'm not going to click the link because it's obviously not a real link and malicious. Calendar, we'll just give a quick overview here of the calendar. So the calendar, if I click the calendar icon, I get presented with what looks like a very similar experience to a desktop, full desktop application where I'm using a calendar. I get to see the week, all my appointments. If I do want to, open up one of these, I can open up one of these appointments. I can look at it and I can accept it, decline, or tentative, just like I would on a regular desktop application, or I could reply forward or delete, again, very, very similar to what you would experience on a desktop. And I can also schedule a new event here and look for people that are part of the infrastructure or the GAL, and I can, again, create a meeting invite just like I would on the desktop. Similarly with contacts, we get a nice view here of contacts. Now this is integrated directly into the directory service, so I'll see things like their email, their contact, their phone. I'll even see their presence as well, whether or not they're online or offline. So things like that can help assist me in determining whether or not that person is available for a talk right now, or if I need to schedule a meeting with them in the future. So finally, I'm going to show the VDI portion of this. So we've shown secure browser, secure email, contact, document editing, capabilities of BlackBerry Digital Workplace. Now I'm going to show you the virtual desktop component of the solution. So we've partnered with an organization called Owingu, and it's built right into the product here where I can just access this hyperlink. And I'm presented with a very user-friendly screen where I can go in and look at my files, I can look at applications, very, very simple to use and interact with. So here, for example, I'm just going to show you quickly. I'll go into my files folder. I've got a number of files here that are linked to the files that we were just looking at on SharePoint. So we've got some integration there with SharePoint. And I can open up one of these documents, for example. So if I'm working with a Word document, I can actually use the actual Word full desktop application through the secure browser. So what's happening in the background here is this instance is now being set up for me virtually, running on a computer back at the corporate infrastructure, and I'm presented with a web view of the full desktop experience. So I've got, a Word document here that I could go in and edit if I like, change the date, change the recipient, whatever I need to do, I can just edit it here in the full experience, and then save it and give it to someone else if they need to do some additional work. I'm going to keep that running. I'm just going to show you one more thing before we round out the demo here. So I can also do a full Windows 10 desktop, and this is again a very powerful feature where again this is running directly inside of the browser. So I can click the link there, and within a few moments I'll be signed into a virtual Windows desktop that's running back in the corporate infrastructure. And you could use this to run apps that are a little bit heavier. Maybe they need a full desktop to run. They don't work very well as an HTML5 application or a lightweight application. So I'm going to use this experience in order to access a full desktop that is, again, mimicking what I would typically have on a full desktop or laptop. So a very, very powerful feature that we've built into this product suite so that you can have not only secure browsing, secure contact, email, PIM functionality, document editing, and a full VDI experience. So with that, we're going to now switch to the final part of the final part of the demo, which is talking around the third component of BlackBerry Desktop here, which is this Silence Protect, or what we call BlackBerry Protect. And this is now protecting my endpoint here as part of the digital workplace suite, so that the organization is sure that my endpoint is secure and sane, and there's no malware, there's no malicious software on here that could potentially affect other applications. So the way this works is, without BlackBerry Protect running in the background, I'm not allowed to access this particular application. Now it's running in the background, so of course I can sign in and I'm allowed my access to my application. But if I uninstall the application or I disable BlackBerry Protect, then I'm no longer able to access that content. Now I've uninstalled the BlackBerry Protect component off of this endpoint, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when I open up BlackBerry Access. So just to visually show you, I no longer have BlackBerry Protect running here in my system tray, so it's been disabled, and I'm now starting BlackBerry Access, and I'm logging in with the password here. And you'll see the screen here come up here with a warning blocking me from access, saying that my device doesn't meet the compliance requirements for the organization because I've uninstalled that particular component. So I'm not even able to log in and use the application until I go back in and re-enable BlackBerry Protect on this endpoint. And that rounds out the demo. Finally, we'll talk around some of the future trends we're seeing in this area. We've covered VPN access, some of the technology that we have as part of the BlackBerry suite of tools, and some of the things that we're seeing in the marketplace revolve around content access and brokering of content securely with solutions that are typically classified in the CASB category. These types of solutions are edge solutions that sit on the edge of the corporate network and allow organizations to have users connect to content once they authenticate and potentially use some sort of conditional access rule in order to prove that it's them and they're authorized to view the content. So we see this area growing significantly over the next few years, and we're using some of this technology internally on our products to enhance the secure connectivity model that I demoed today to add additional conditional access rules to enable organizations to have a finer control and filter on their corporate data. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you can check out some of the other sessions that are part of the summit. And remember to stay safe, keep your data safe, and we'll talk to you soon.